would you please raise your right hand?
Sir.
You solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Mr. Cardenas, you're charged with evade, arrest, or detention. That's the original charge. At this time, before we proceed, I'm going to share with you at least 5 major constitutional rights and protections that you have. I'm going to share with you verbally. I'll be telling you about it. But my certified court reporter, Ms. Kayleen Rivera, will be making an official record of this. Then we're going to proceed to review papers, documents that may repeat most of these protections and rights 2 or 3 times more. The first right is the right to remain silent. That means that you don't have to make any statements. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit paperwork with your signature, especially if the papers admit or confess to wrongdoing. That's the right to remain silent. Do you understand you have that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to a jury trial. That means that you and your attorney and the state's attorneys would select 6 people to be jurors. That selection would be from a pool or panel of people, what's called a jury panel of randomly selected people. They would hear the evidence, see everything, and watch the proceedings, and then they would decide whether you're guilty or not guilty. That's the right to a jury trial. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to confront witnesses. That means if you go to trial, any witnesses that would testify, you would have the right to cross-examine, question, or challenge those witnesses. That's a right to face your accusers, also known legally as the right of confrontation of witnesses. Do you understand you have that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
There's also a right called the right to appeal. Basically, what that means is that you yourself or your attorney himself or the 2 of you together would have the right to demand that a higher court review the official record, the evidence, the testimony, everything, documents, whatever is in the evidence, review that for whatever challenge you wanted to make. You'd have to follow rules on the forms, on the time limitations. Everything is required by law, but that's the right to appeal. Do you understand you have that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then you also have the right to demand that this proceeding and all proceedings in this matter be held in the open public courtroom. That right you have and the state has also. Because of the COVID pandemic, we're not doing those right now in the open public courtroom. We're trying to get back to that, but right now we haven't. You have that right to demand that. So does the state. We're doing this by video conference, and it is streamed on YouTube. Anyone who wants to can tune in and see the entire proceeding, see you and all the rest of us. That's called the right to a public proceeding. You understand you have that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may, we did not submit that paper with the packet that you have in front of you. I believe that Mr. Cardenas was exercising his right to a public hearing by showing up in person this morning. So we didn't submit that one.
Well, if you're demanding the right to a public to a proceeding in the open public courtroom, I need to know that now because we'll have to reschedule it since I am not in the courtroom, nor are the prosecutors, nor is the court reporter, or anyone else, with the exception of you yourself and your client. Do you want to demand that this be done in the open public courtroom?
We can submit that paperwork, Your Honor.
Well, I need to have that very clear.
Yeah,
Mr. Cardenas, are you in fact consenting to this proceeding by video conference?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, the way this is going to work, I'm going to show you some documents that are essential to this proceeding. At the top of almost every one of them, with one exception, it will have identifying information. If you'll notice at the top here, the document being shown, it says your case number 646580, State of Texas versus Jose Adrian Cardenas, in County Court of Law number 5, Bexar County, Texas. Now that's the identifying information. Below that, in all capitals, bold print, is the title of the particular document. This one says state's consent to video conference. I mentioned to you a moment ago that you and the state have the right to make that demand in a public courtroom. This one is signed by Ms. Caitlin C. Morgan for the state saying, we agree to do this by video conference. Did you see this document?
No.
He's asking if you can see it.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The next document with the identifying information, this one is titled Discovery Acknowledgement. There is a law that's referred to right there, the first line of below the title, Article 39.14 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. You're not going to be given an exam and have to know that number or anything else. What that tells you, this document says that there is a law that requires the state to disclose, to acknowledge, to give you access of all the documents, items, and information that is available and relevant concerning your case so that you and your attorney are fully informed and you can make the best decision in your interest. You understand that that's what the law requires?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this one is signed by your attorney and the state's attorney. They are averring, they are certifying that that law that we just mentioned has been obeyed. You have been given access and acknowledgement of the materials. Next document is yours. This is where you agree. We just asked you a moment ago. Do you agree to the video conference? And you said, yes, you do. We will have you sign this if it's not already signed. Can we scroll? All right. Now this document is called Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. Just so you see, it has the identifying information at the top. It's repeated, and then the title is Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions in all capitals, bold print. It starts off with 3 sentences, totally separated from each other. It says you're charged with evade, arrest, or detention. The third sentence, can you read that? Do you see what it says?
Judge, read the third. It says it starts with in this case. Just read that whole sentence.
Can you read that, Mr.
In
Cardenas?
this case, I hereby plead of no
Contendery.
contendere to the following allegations: evading arrest or detention.
That's good.
Is that what you're going to do? You're going to enter a plea of no contest?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The rest of this document is divided into 15 numbered parts. The very first one talks about punishment that you can be given. It's called the range of punishment. There's a vertical stack of boxes. Next to each box is a declaration or statement of different types of offenses or classes of offense, and it tells you what kind of punishment you can get. This one has 1 check mark. It says Class A, fine $0 to $4,000, and jail 0 days to 1 year jail. Did you see and understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Coronel, I'm sorry, Mr. De La Rosa, did
Yes,
you
sir.
review this particular document carefully with your client?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Does he understand the content of each of these 15 numbered paragraphs or parts?
Yes, he does, Your Honor.
Mr. Cardenas, where were you born, sir?
San Antonio, Texas.
All right. The documents, the record will reflect that you are a U.S. citizen. Did you understand this whole document, all 15 parts and everything else?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I will want you to sign this document. In fact, it's signed by your attorney and the prosecutor, but it does not show your signature. You're ordered to sign that. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
The paperwork that's in the file, Your Honor, should have his signature on it.
Okay, very good.
The problem was that he couldn't get the paperwork digitally, so we came in and physically filled it out.
Thank you, Mr. De La Rosa. This document now being shown to you has the identifying information again. It's repeated. Then this is my declaration or certification to you. The title of this document is Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. It has, again, a vertical stack of boxes, and each one has a different description or statement concerning the right to appeal. The fifth box, counting from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth one, I certify to you, this is a plea bargain case and the defendant has no right of appeal. Did you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you signed this document yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Now what we have here is called an application for judge-ordered community supervision probation. Again, identifying information, case number, name, court number. This one is where you are applying for what we generally call probation. Did you review this carefully with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I want to remind you of a couple of things. First of all, probation is a written, legal, binding agreement between you and this court. That agreement is this: I will give you a punishment when after you've pled nolo contendere, including jail, but I will suspend or probate the jail part. You, in answer, or on the other side of the agreement, your part will be that you will live up to 100% of the conditions of supervision. The conditions will not be a mystery. They will be read to you. You will sign them. They will put a copy in your hands. And you'll be expected, in fact, you will have to live up to 100% of those conditions. Is that clear? Mr. Cardenas, is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you fail or refuse to live up to the conditions, then the state will ask me to give you official notice, bring you in here for a hearing, and if the evidence supports it, I can put you in jail at that point. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This document, did you fill it out? I think you did. I've seen the papers. You filled the information out in here, right?
Yes, sir.
Are you working?
Not at the moment. But I have been working with my uncle, like just landscaping.
It's a hot time of the year for that, huh?
Yes, sir.
You're earning your keep. All right. Mr. Cardenas, you're now being shown what's called a plea agreement. The identifying information is your name and the court number, the case number. The first two boxes will be marked. The first one being, it says that the defendant has been informed and you're aware of the right to remain silent. You heard that several times.
Yes, Your Honor.
The next section has 5 boxes stacked up vertically. It talks about the requirements, or rather that we have reviewed with you all the rights and protections that are in that section. Did you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. De La Rosa, are you, as an officer of the court, are you telling this court that Mr. Cardenas has carefully reviewed this part of the documents and he understood that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, ultimately, you're charged with evading arrest, a Class A misdemeanor. To that charge, what is your official plea?
No content.
Very good. All right. A no contest plea is considered a guilty plea by this court and is sufficient for me to convict you. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Based on your plea of no contest and the evidence, I find you guilty. You're sentenced to 180 days, Bexar County Jail, probated for a term of 6 months. That means it's suspended for 6 months. In exchange, you're going to have to live up to the conditions of probation. 1, you're fined $300. 2, you will have to perform 24 hours of community service restitution. You are ordered to appear in the offices of Bexar County Court Number 5, and you're right here today. It'd be a good time to do it. You have to have your thumbprint placed on the documents that are required by law. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, you say you don't have a full-time job?
Not at the moment.
All right. When's the last time you had a full-time job?
Say about 2 months ago. Yeah, I've been working with my uncle for the past 2 months. So,
What are you making? What are you earning?
it's roughly about $80 to $100 per day on the job.
All right. So you're looking at about $2,000 a month total?
I work like maybe twice a week.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right. Then,
I'm trying to get a job right now.
all right. The supervisory fee will be set at $29 a month.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. De La Rosa finished the paperwork. I have the file here in my hands. Make sure that there's a bunch of papers that do not appear to be complete yet. Make sure that they're completed before you leave the courthouse, and have Mr. Cardenas place his thumbprint in accordance with law. All right?
Very well, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Mayra,
Let's go back.
you're early. It's only 10:16. What's going on? You're muted, sir. James, you're muted. Somebody let him know we're trying to listen to him.
Is that me?
That is you.
Sorry, I'm talking about immigration law.
Mr. Mayra, this is your second appearance where you're late again, more than an hour. What's going on?
I was here about a little bit for 20 minutes. I have a pending felony client here. His name is Randy Gordon. He had a pending felony, probably gonna work it out next week. But he has a handful of misdemeanors in your court.
I see 1, 2 felonies, and as you said, a handful. Is he here?
He should have been here. I gave him the Zoom link.
I agree with you that he should have. I have not seen or heard
I'm
from
not-
him.
No, okay. We'll call him. We'll call him. We'll call Randy. We got his number.
All right, well, unless I hear from him, he will be the recipient of an arrest warrant.
Okay. We'll give him a call pronto. He has the Zoom link and